Hello everyone. So as promised, I'm back and now we will start our sixth section. That section is working on pluggable databases and discussing on the different methods of creating pluggable databases. Okay, so let's move on. So now this is a complete table and different varieties of and different methods of creating PDBs. This is what I have mentioned, whatever Oracle actually provides. So there are different methods. Category will be, you can say category can be copying, plugging in, relocating, and proxy PDB. Copying will contain 4 options. So as you all have already seen from seed option. So what I will do, I will actually kind of link the videos or maybe remake the creation of PDB from seed again in this particular section. So what we already did is we we used this particular functionality by using the files of CDB seed or application seed. You guys might not be knowing about application seed yet, but we will be discussing this in a separate section. Uh, there is other style of copying, that is cloning up a local PDB. So what we will be doing, this particular description will be is cloning a source local PDB. That's how we are going to create PDB. And cloning the remote PDB, this is also same as local, just that you have to create a database link. So this is from the remote PDB. Cloning from a non-CDB, this is a very popular option, and the thing is just not about popularity, but the thing is that if you think about the real-time environment or the industry itself, what happens is currently many companies have yet not migrated from 11G R2. So why did they not migrate from 11G R2 to 12C, even though Oracle is saying that eventually they won't be supporting the non-CDB option? Why they are still using it? They are using it because the thing is that many domains like banking as well as healthcare as well as insurances, right? Those are very those domains are very critical. They have very critical databases. They don't want those databases to be stopped at any moment, and that is the reason they actually delay their migration. So there are chances when you guys might be falling into or getting an interview from these type of domains, and you guys might be getting an options to migrate or clone a non-CDB, that is 11G R2 to 19C or maybe 12C release 2. So that will be a good experience. What I will do this time is I will show you guys how to actually um, upgrade 11G R2 to 12C R2. Why we need to upgrade 11G R2 or still study about 11G R2 even though there is 19C currently, right? So when you talk about 19C, not all corporation or not none of the corporation actually in production environment they upgrade these databases or database versions immediately. So currently my own company, that is bank, they are actually you still using 12C R2. It's not old, but still migrating to latest version takes time. This is called a currency project, so it takes time. There are critical applications running, so they don't want to do it immediately, and due to several reasons application teams are not comfortable migrating it immediately. So there are many things, right? So yes, I will be coming up with that particular video where what I will be doing is my upgrading the database from 11G R2 to 12C, and then uh, 12C non-CDB, and then we will be converting that non-CDB database to PDB and plugging into running CDB. So that's what we are going to see in later videos. I might come with that. And one more important thing is 11gr2 do not support multi-tenant environment. So there are some packages which are required to actually convert these databases from non-CDB to PDB. Those packages are not available. So first of all, the process is to upgrade the database to 12c R1 or R2. Usually it will be 12c R2 with the latest functionality, and then that database will still be 12c R2, still be non-CDB. And let's say that you also have one more container database running in your environment. So now you want this particular database which you have upgraded from 11g R2 to 12c R2. You want to plug and convert your database to a pluggable database and plug into the latest CDB environment, right? So that we are going to see. In today's video we will be seeing how to convert the non-CDB to a pluggable database and plug into the container database already running. So that's practical we are going to see. I'll show you which topic we will be touching today. So that will not be a clone, a non-CDB, that is not the topic, but yeah, that is also we are going to look at. So these are the 4 topics. Now let's go for plugging in. So there are chances where the database PDB is unplugged. So now you want to plug into the another CDB, so that can be also possible. So that is also a way. And adopting a non-CDB as PDB, this is what the option I was talking about. So what we will be doing, we will be using the dbms underscore pdb package to actually convert the non-CDB structure to XML file, and then migrate the database to PDB, and then attaching or plugging into the CDB environment so that it behaves like PDB, and now CDB knows about the PDBs, right? We will be seeing everything. Now the relocating of PDB, let's say there are 2 container databases running in your environment. Now you want to detach it from one of the containers and migrate into or plug into the different container, that is relocating. So that's what we are going to see. And the proxy, this option we will also be seeing. So let me calculate total number of options: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So 8 options we will be seeing in this particular section number 6. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, so that's what I was saying. We will be touching on adopting a non-CDB as PDB using the dbms PDB. Okay, just a second. Okay, so this is my SSH client. So let's check. Let me show you what my current environment looks like. Let me zoom out. So my current environment is, what we are doing today is converting a non-CDB to PDB using the dbms PDB. Okay, and my platform is Linux. I'm using Linux 7.7 OL 7.7. My server name is ORCL. That is my IP. That IP might be different for your environment. DB version is 12.2 for both of them. In current environment, my there are 2 Oracle homes, one for the CDB and one for the non-CDB. This is my non-CDB database name. This is my target CDB database name. So this is the container where we are going to plug in this one. Okay, we are assuming and we are planning to change this particular name, whatever I'm highlighting currently, to this one. This will be PDB. You all will see that how it looks like. This is a non-CDB path and this is a CDB path. The naming convention, why I chose this is because of the understanding and not confusing ourselves. In the real environment, these ones will not be the name. Those ones will be according to the application team and the naming convention. Currently we are choosing this because I actually want you guys to see what we are actually looking at. Okay, so these are the steps. Let me minimize this particular notes. So let me show you what all different environment. Let me show you the process. Okay, so we have two databases running, CDB12C and non-CDB12C. Let's change the environment for both of them and check what is happening there. So let's check it, change for non-CDB. Okay, non-CDB12C SQL plus slash /sysdba show PDBS. No, so this is not the container environment, even though we need to actually check it. Okay, I'll show you. So this says no, we are using the column name, open mode and CDB in $v database. It's saying no. Let's exit out of this and let's change the environment to the CDB database, CDB12C, and let's log in and run the same code. Okay, same query, and this is multi-tenant environment. I'll show you. There are two PDBs and there will be one more PDB coming up. That's what I was talking about. Okay, let's exit out of it and let's start doing the process. Let me clear the screen. So first thing first, let's log into the non-CDB environment first, because everything needs to be done on the non-CDB first and then CDB environment. So the first step is, because we validated the environment itself and you guys must have seen it, that it's not CDB. Okay, so non CDB12C, sorry for the long name. So now I came up with a method so that you guys see that, okay, for example, if we assume that there are tables, right, and there are users which have created the specific table, when we migrate it and when we will query it later after attaching it and converting into PDB and then attaching it or plugging into the CDB and then querying it again, we should see those tables again, right? So I'm trying to mimic the application environment. That's what application team will do. This is the structure they will actually follow. The database will already have an application schema objects under it. So when they migrate and then they query, they should actually see those tables. Otherwise, there will be a huge problem. Besides downtime, there will be huge loss to the bank or a huge loss to the project as well as to the company. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to mimic. For that, I am creating a user, test user. Let's create this user. Okay, let's grant some permission to this user. So you guys need to assume that this is an application schema. Okay, this particular application schema will be creating some tables. Okay, this is not a good practice to create objects under users. There will be specific table space for the application itself, but this is not the production environment, so we can play around with it. Okay, let's connect. It's connected. I'm creating table employee and inserting some records. Okay, We will be inserting 3 values or 4 values, whatever it is. Okay, so let's say employee A DBA, run it again. Employee B analyst, run it again. Employee C and junior DB. Okay, so that's done. We can actually query this table. Perfect. So these tables must exist after we plug into the CDB and migrate everything, right? Let's flush the buffer cache. Sorry about that. Connect this. I don't have permission to run that. That is the reason it threw error. Okay, whatever I do, I'll exit out and log in again so that I'm safe. Now we will shut down the database. Okay. So this is the first step which is completed. We verified. If you guys are actually trying to copy this same thing and trying to make the same environment in your home, it's good to do that. But the thing is, if you don't create the table, it's well and good as well. Shut down the database. So validating is the first step and then shut down. Okay. Now we have to open the database in read-only mode. Why read-only mode? Because you don't want application teams to connect to the database, right? For this, in real environment, you will be communicating with the application team. There will be saying that there will be a downtime, and this will not be in a business as usual hours. So that is the time when everything will be migrating, or you will have other database where the application user will be connecting. So it's according to your environments how they support. So let's start up the database. Mount in exclusive mode. I think everything is looking more cluttered, right? So what I will do, I'll clear the screen. And alter the database and open with read only. Good. Now check the status of the database. So now it's in read only mode. This is non-CDB and non-CDB name, and this is currently non-CDB. Okay. Now the second step is completed. You have to open the database in read only mode. Third step will be you guys have to generate an XML file. This XML file is very important because to convert the non-CDB to CDB, the target database need to understand the structure of the older database being the non-CDB database. That particular structure will be XML file where all the definitions and details of the non-CDB database will be sitting. Okay, so the package is dbms underscore pdb.describe. So what we will be doing running this. Okay, before running this, I'll tell you what is happening. This package is very important. That is the reason the topic was this dbms underscore pdb, right? This particular package, what it will do, it will ask for an XML file location. It will generate, and that particular XML file, you guys can open that XML file and see the complete structure of non-CDB database. It will show everything, including where is the location of data files and everything. So all the details. Okay, so let's generate that XML file. That's done. Okay, let's look at that. Cat slash, sorry, or our data node. Okay, so it has everything, right? So everything being, let me scroll up how much buffer I have. Okay, so the version, see, data file path, system, table spaces, information is also in there, sysocs information is there. So every breakdown of this file. Okay, we're not going to waste time on this. Clear the screen. Let's shut down the database. So this will be the fifth step. So you need to shut down the database. Because consistency was actually required, right, to generate the XML file. So you don't want people to be reading or modifying anything. You want everything to be consistent at that moment when you are actually generating the XML file. Now you are shutting down the database. Now let's exit out of this and let's connect to the target database, CDB12C. So I'll give you a general idea that because we have generated this XML file, this XML file will be used by the target database, and it will actually validate if this non-CDB database is ready to be migrated or created into pluggable database. So there will be another package I will be showing which needed to be run so that it will say yes and no, that if that can be migrated or rather converted into pluggable database, and then we will eventually convert the database and link it to the CDB. So you will see all the steps. So we have changed the environment variable. Let's connect to it. By the way, both databases should be up at the time of start, and then we will be going through different steps. Okay, we have connected to pluggable database. We can even run this particular query, right? $database, which we ran on other one. So good. Host clear. Now this is what I was talking about. If this particular non-CDB is ready to be plugged in, okay, so I'm not going to run it until I'm going to make you guys understand. It's going to check the compatibility. There is dbms underscore pdb package, and again there is sub package. See, the check plugin compatibility, and it's going to validate using this XML file whatever we generated earlier, and pdb name will be this one, non-CDB to PDB12C. Okay, that's what we are actually changing, and then done, enter. So it says yes. Here you can do it. That's what it's trying to say. The flag is trying to say in case of violations, PDB plugin violation, then you have to check this particular query. Let me show you. If there is error, okay, so if this is not yes and this is no, and then there will be some specific rows with some errors, then you have to check the violations. It's not showing anything, but there are chances when you guys might be running in your environment and you guys be getting this particular error, then you guys have to resolve it, okay, accordingly. You guys can actually go into the YouTube channel and comment if you guys have a problem doing such things, okay. Now for this, what I'm doing is, as you all know, that we already have a location for non-CDB, because non-CDB, as per, let's say this is a real environment and we already have database, a complete database, non-CDB database running, right? Now we have a project requirement of creating this database or changing this database or migrating this database into pluggable database and attaching into the specific container. So we already have the file structure on the location of the data files. So for me, that data file already exists under Aura data and under folder non-CDB. Okay, so these are the files I have. So I need to make sure that what I'm planning to do is I'm not going to use these particular files. What I will do, I want to say my container database package to change this particular location to the new location. I don't want to use the older location. Okay, so if I want to change or create my files into the new location, then I have to use the file convert parameter. I will show you how you guys can use it. So you have to file convert parameter, and then you have file convert clause, and then you have to say what was the older path and what is the newer path. That's how you are going to copy the files from. So it's not going to move, so files will exist in this older path. So this Aura data non CDB12C, this will exist. What I'm saying is it will copy into the new location. So and eventually my PDB will be linking the database to the other location, not this one, so that eventually we can deinstall the database and clean it up. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. For that, I'm going to create another directory. Okay, so I'm creating a directory that is non CDB to PDB12C. Okay, just the meaningful name, pd dot dot list it. So currently it's here, right? Everything will be copied here, but this folder will exist, and then we will eventually deinstall it. I will create one more video to how to deinstall it. It's very easy. When you guys want to actually clean up your environment and play around with it, you don't need to keep installing the operating system. To clean up, use the deinstall utility and it will clean up properly, and then you can reinstall it. So I'll show you. That is done. We have created new location. Now we have to run the command, okay, in the SQL plus. So the container should be not pluggable, okay, it should be CDB root show container name. So we are in CDB root. This is the master database, you can call it, and all the administrative activities are performed from here, and it will automatically trickle down to whatever PDB is there. You guys might have seen in my other videos in the multi-tenant architecture. I'll come up with the new section that is security 2. It will be very interesting and it will clear much of the doubts, right? So the command will be, just a second, paste. So it's saying that create pluggable database non CDB12C. Hold on. Actually, you know what? Okay, that will be fine. So what I'm doing is creating a pluggable database with this name. I want it to be created with this particular name. I want to exit it out. So it did not run. Okay. So what I will do, I'll change the name, just a second, in my notes. Okay, I changed it. Let's run it again. I think I have. So why the issue was last time is because of the case sensitive Linux is, right? So this is in lowercase, this is in uppercase. I made everything in uppercase last time. See, that is the reason it was throwing error. It was not able to find the path, and then I changed the path and it worked. So it has created pluggable database. Okay, so now let's validate it. Okay, so our environment is pluggable container environment. Let me clear the screen. Host. Let's check the PDBs. You see that the current database is attached. Now container database is recognizing this particular thing. Okay, we have done 70% of the work, but still it's in closed state. But one major step needed to be done, one more package needed to be done before you can say and then you can use it. So just a second, let's validate everything using the DBA PDBs views. So it will say in this particular view, just a second, column PDB b underscore name format A20. So yeah, it will say new, all the status will be normal. Different type of queries you can run. Show PDBs will say open mode, this will say status. Okay, one more query you can run is this as well, CDB PDBs, and that will show everything. That will show the same thing. So CDB PDBs is the query which is kind of container wise. Okay, it has a coverage of CDB root, PDB seed, and all the pluggable database. As you might have already seen that if you run DBA underscore views, if you run this particular view from the container database or CDB root database, it is it will be giving it will be actually outputting the information for just that specific container where you are in, not the other pluggable database or anything else. Okay, so it is specific to this particular container because CDB root has all information of all the pluggable databases. That is the reason it's showing the details, but this has kind of limited information. The CDB PDBs are the newer views which has container wide information. You can also query this particular view. So this is in mounted state. We already have seen it, right? Show PDBs is the better query I see, but you can use the $v PDBs as well. Host clear. Now this is the very important part. Now there are specific objects which are required to be created under PDB and dictionary views which are required to be created. Okay, and our PDB has been created but partially. It has to be completely created, kind of link properly to the container database. So for that we needed to run the package. For that we need to shift to the specific PDB and then run it. So show PDBs. So we have to alter session set container equals. So we have to move to our new container. Paste. Okay. And then we have to run this. Just a second, you have to go to that location. So at, because you're running the SQL /oracle base. So this is the new database location. Okay, so the container database location, base product cdb12c database. So go to Oracle Home, then rdbms, or I'll paste it. So it's running specific packages, views, and everything to link this pluggable database properly to CDB root. It should not be run from the CDB root. It has to be run from the pluggable database itself. See, it's running the procedures. It's creating the specific views, dictionary views, internal objects, and everything. Okay. Let it complete. As soon as this completes, I'll come back. Yeah, so welcome back. It took me around 10 minutes to actually complete the whole bunch of stuff it went through. So it has completed this particular PL SQL. It was running. It was successfully completed. So let's now validate everything, okay? If we have any plugin violations, it means that when we plugged in, is there any specific internal objects it's violating or it's creating problem with? So sorry about that. So I have to exit out. I have to connect to CDB root. I always forget some. So no, there is no plugin violation for this specific PDB. Let's check the status. Show PDBs. Okay, our PDB is still closed. Okay, there is no violations. So always remember, because this is a multi-tenant environment, there are pluggable as well as the container databases. Okay, so make sure that if you want to run specific queries on specific database, then make sure to validate the show container name. Okay, so run this one always and make a habit, and you will know where you are. Otherwise you will make mistake like me. Sometimes it happens, right? We DBAs are not accustomed to this type of environment, but yeah, everything will come up. Okay, so let's open this database to read write. Mount means close. Don't confuse this with the non-CDB environment. And the pluggable databases are not associated with the control files. Okay, an SP file, control file, SP file, archive log, redo log, all those things belong to container CDB root. Okay, so let's alter pluggable database. Pluggable database and the database name open. Okay, let's wait for it to open it. Perfect. And then run this. Good. So everything is fine. What we need to validate is our tables, right? As promised, let's validate our table. What was the table name? TBL EMP. Okay, so it will not be showing like this. It will be showing like from test dot, because we are not connected to this particular schema, right? It won't show it. Table or view does not exist. Okay, see, I have made this mistake again. Sorry about that. These are the minute mistakes. We are not in that container. Let's run this. It will still not be showing. Let's run this. Good. So did you guys like it? I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys learned about it so that you guys can implement this in your environment. So yes, this completes our video. Hope everyone liked it, and please comment, please subscribe, and please share these videos. I'll glad to listen to all the queries, and will be glad to actually honor all the request if you guys have any regarding the new videos, right? So I'm here for you. Thank you very much.